Hello and welcome to Budweiser Gardens for yet another National Basketball League of Canada game. Tonight, the 11-6 London Lightning take on the 7-9 and recently slumping Halifax Rainmen, as always. And Chris Croucher up in the booth. Actually, I wasn't here last game, but Windsor came to London, did a very, very good job against who were, I guess at the time, the league leaders.
Well, the Windsor Express often talk about them in our broadcast. They've just been that good all season long. But something interesting happened last time we were here at Bud Gardens. The London Lightning pretty much dominated the Windsor Express, better than any time we've ever seen the Windsor Express lose. It was a 107-85 final. It included the London Lightning outscoring the Express 34-17 in the second quarter. And they really got all their shot makers and shot takers. Some of the guys they've counted on to come up clutch were really shooting well. John Hart had 25 that night, and Marvin Phillips 4, along with 13 rebounds. And that just shows how good the London Lightning can be when they have all their big guns clicking. They're going to need them tonight. Halifax, a bit of a struggling team. They haven't really been getting things going on a consistent basis. And in fact, right now, they're on the worst losing streak they've had all season. They're going to have all their guns clicking in case Halifax is hot. You can't let Halifax get a good start.
Halifax coming off a 102-92 loss in Brampton last night. This is their first trip to Ontario, the only team that hasn't faced an opponent from outside their own division so far this season. And we knew that Brampton game was going to be tough, but now, again, they've lost 4 straight, and they're going to look to guys like Hannibal, for example, to try to lead this team.
Well, Hannibal's a very, very big man sitting at 6'10". And one of the reasons I think he'll be an interesting guy in this game coming up is that with his size, we've seen the London Lightning struggle against those bigger guys.
Starting lineup here for the visiting Halifax Rainmen coming up. Starting lineup for Halifax: Ando Jones, Scales, and Parham. And Ando's another guy, first Japanese player to play in this league. They've got some quicker guys, Halifax, but is there anything else that we should be looking for in terms of how the Rainmen play?
Well, the thing the Rainmen like to do is they've got a lot of almost wing players that come off their bench. And they don't necessarily have a ton in the size department outside of Hannibal and Parham, but with guys like Watson, Barrett, Haywood, all these guys can come off the bench and really make a lot of these players on the London Lightning have to defend these wings. Another guy of note here, Emmanuel Jones, he's been very, very good this year. He's their top scorer now that John has left to go overseas. He's a very excellent player. Now that he's stepped into the starting role, he's kept up his scoring. Look for those guys in this matchup.
Rainmen will definitely be tired. Their road trip is not over. They have to head back out east to take on the Island Storm in Charlottetown. That game's on Thursday, and that's a part of 10 games in a month for the Halifax Rainmen just in January, which also includes another trip back out to Ontario where they'll take on Mississauga and Windsor.
Which is a time to have to travel. It's very rough. At least they can, struggling team, they have the chance to end their road trip on a good note. And after having 10 games in January, they're probably going to get a nice amount of rest coming up.
Starting lineup for the home team, the London Lightning, coming up in just a moment. So the starting lineup for the London Lightning: Al Stewart, John Hart, Emmanuel Little, Marvin Phillips, and Darnell Lazar. A new guy has come in to replace Elvin Mims, who is now full-time assistant coach. What can you tell us about Mr. Lazar?
Well, Lazar's got a very, very good resume in the D-League for a couple of years now, most notably with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. During his first 3 years in the D-League, so 2009 to 2011-12 season, averaging over 10 points per game in that league, including a career high of 16 a game in 20. And he's a guy that just knows how to score, but he can also bring in those rebounds. He's a little taller than an Elvin Mims, but he plays a similar game. It's not drastically different. You're going to see him get 6 or 7 rebounds in his full-time starter minutes, and you're going to see him hopefully get around 15 to 12 points here for the London Lightning. And they really could use that, because as good as Jonathan Mills is, he's 6'5". Playing some of these taller teams, now with Lazare in there, you don't really have to give up much in terms of your team's overall height.
Mills back from injury, so that's good news as well. But John Hart, another starter, you mentioned it before, had a big game against Windsor. He can always light it up.
Well, he's probably one of the most confident shooters we've ever seen in this league. There's not a single shot on the court that John. We've seen him make some absolutely circus shots. Make you believe him when he says it. He's been an excellent addition to this team, probably the best pick out of this year's NBL draft so far. He's been lights out for this Lightning team and really stepped up. He's kind of taken Zane Johnson's spot. Johnson looked locked in as a starter, even won a Player of the Month, and John Hart managed to beat a starter's gig.
Pep Claro's taken his time with his Rainmen. Of course, Coach Pep, as he's known in Halifax, he led the Rainmen to their finals appearance back in 2012 when they took on the London Lightning in that massive 5-game series. One to remember in the history books for London Lightning fans, one to forget for the Rainmen, because they really haven't had that success since then. Of course, last season was interesting, sort of struggled through the gate and then ended up making it to the Atlantic Division Finals. London versus Halifax here at Budweiser Gardens. London is in white, going left to right. Halifax in navy blue, go underway here at Budweiser Gardens. Halifax take the ball up. Clinkscales with it. Off to Kale. Played in Brampton this year as part of a trade to head out east. Gets it back, tosses it up, and it's points.
Pretty little play from Clinkscales. Looks like a bit of a defensive breakdown from the Lightning.
Stewart takes it. Chips into the corner. John Hart for 3. Misses. Marvin Phillips, and it's no. Clinkscales off to Jones. He battles down and go Little with the defensive rebound.
Not a great shot from Jones early in a shot clock, but that's a great pass as we see Lazare get his first points as the member of the London Lightning.
Endo with it now for Halifax. 2-2 is the score. Deep 3 is no good. That's going to be a rebound. So here, Al Stewart takes it up. Lazar ahead of him. Stewart off to Lazar. Keeps possession. Gives it off to Marvin Phillips. He waits and drains.
Passing from the London Lightning there, finding Phillips down low. It's a 4-2. Already has their passing game going though.
KO with it. Moves it around, and good move, but Little will keep it in. Now Phillips toss it off to Lazar. To Hart. And it's tipped. Here comes Jones. He's all alone. He'll take it to the hoop.
Great defensive instincts there from Emmanuel Jones. Steps in front of that pass, and you can see why he's being looked at as one of the better players. Has really stepped up for this Rainmen team.
Hart with possession. Off to Little. 4-4 is the score. 9:46 left in the first quarter. Manuel Little Can't dish there as Ando will collect. Moves down. Off to Clink Scales and apologies, out of bounds. So London will get it back. White, Halifax in blue. Marty Thompson, Chris Crouch up in the booth here for this one. Halifax on a 4-game losing skid. Played in Brampton last night, lost 102-92. John Hart for 2.
No one able to keep with John Hart there. Way too easy for him. All he had to do was run.
Moves up. You've got see Parham just in front. He's a big man, and he's been known around the time that he's been here. I know last season he was dominating for us as Ando steps out of bounds. Certainly a man to watch there, number 42.
Parham's a guy, his game's sort of gone not as well as it has in the past. We've seen him sort of rise and fall from a dominant player to a guy who's only averaging about 5 points, 3 rebounds right now. But he's been such a good player for so long that you have to think at some point that he's going to just have a big game. So you really can't leave him unattended.
That's a foul against Emmanuel Jones. Second foul for the Rainmen. 6-4 is the 8:50 on the clock, and Marvin Phillips go to the line here for 3 shots, I believe. Big crowd here at Budweiser Gardens. Kind of quiet right now, though.
They didn't do the stand and clap thing. That must be it.
Yeah, I think the tired legs there. People might get a little disenchanted when they have to sit for 2 minutes. Marvin Phillips, good. Make it 9-4. Clink Scales. KO to his left. Ando. Another 3, and it's no good. KO will collect. No, it'll get off to Clink Scales. He passes it to Parham, and he'll get fouled. No traveling.
Yeah, he just sort of had his pivot foot move a bit too much there. Sort of took a slide on him.
Stewart moves it up quickly, chips it off to Hart. And there's other, and it's no good. 8:13 on the clock. Ando. Back to Clink Scales. 8 minutes left in the first. Clink Scales.
Hart playing him real tight.
Oh, he drains it over John Hart.
Really difficult shot there. He just sort of heaved it up, knowing that the shot clock was about to expire, but it works out.
And so it's out of bounds. Rainmen will get the ball back. 7:40 left in the first quarter. A later start date today, 7:30. See, Emmanuel Jones can't keep it in. Emmanuel Little gives it off to Hart. Now to Marvin Phillips for 3. No good.
Phillips had a bit more time to set up for that shot than I think he thought. Sort of rushed that 3-point attempt. Didn't look very good.
9-6, 7:22 on the clock. Clink Scales. Up against Stewart. Kale. Parham in there. Just gets it off, and ooh! By Jones.
Again, Jones showing great instincts, being able to work around his defender there and get up to the rim.
Stewart against Ando. Halifax averaging 11 steals per game this season. You see quick to sort of smack the ball out at any chance. The ball will fall out of play, and it looks like it'll be London possession with 22 seconds on the shot clock. 6:44 on the game clock here in the first quarter. So Lazar comes out, Jonathan Mills comes in, and back from the injury. Phillips gives it off, and it's good for 2.
Nice. Phillips is one of the best in the post when he stays there.
Clink skills. The KO, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds by the looks of it. And so London will get possession back. We talked a bit about for London and the real lack of bigs, and for what you've seen from Azar, I mean, is it sort of being shored up? I mean, you have Jonathan Mills basically platooning if this works out.
Well, the way Jonathan Mills has played too, you would think. I honestly thought Lazar was going to come off the bench and that Mills would be inserted as the starter. Maybe that's because of injury, because Mills has played so well.
As you see him there taking on four Rainmen players and gets the and one attempt. But yeah, I mean, he's looked good, and especially in instances like that, even he can still battle down low.
Well, even with when they had Mims in there as well, their front court rotation consists of Mims and Mills, and not one of them was taller than 6'7". Marvin Phillips being the tallest of the bunch. So even though they all are good big men, at some point you're giving up too much height when you use those guys. They're bringing Lazar. He's a little bit taller. He's listed at 6'8", and he can really shore up their big man.
6 minutes into this first quarter. Ando. Another 3 from Ando, and it's good this time.
He's really not afraid to shoot threes. He's probably record for most three-pointers taken in a game at some point, because when he decides to start shooting, he doesn't stop.
That was his 3rd attempt. It's the 3rd. Stewart makes an attempt for 2. It's good. Al Stewart makes it 15-11 for his Lightning. Rainmen. Ando takes another 3, and it's good.
He's starting to feel it now. London's got a lockdown on him.
I'll make it 2 for
Brampton. Ando is doing a lot of driving, not so much shooting, as we see Marvin Phillips with a big answer 3. But it's interesting, Ando, he almost looked like Steve Nash in that Brampton game, that he would drive to the lane, not necessarily looking to score, but looking to make a pass down low. And now we're seeing him play more of that perimeter game.
Here's Ando for 3 again. Oh, so close. See Mills collecting it. And now to Al Stewart, who takes it to the hoop, and it's no good. And another here for the Rainmen. Ando. Will he shoot again? Likely. Gets possession once. KO move over to his right.
Tough matchup for Ando. Smart.
KO again on the move. He's trying to get open. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ando. No look pass, and then this is off to Jones. He gets it off in time. It's no good.
Tough shot and good team defense from the Lightning there.
Little charges the lane, and it's no good off the back of the rim. It falls out of play.
This building was about to get a whole lot louder if he had put that down. Jeez.
Fisher and Watson preparing to come on the Halifax Rainmen. We will get a media timeout before that. London Lightning 18, Halifax Rainmen 14 here at Budweiser Gardens. Chris, Halifax doing a lot of perimeter shooting.
And it's kind of interesting. Earlier in the game, we were talking about how they've got a wing-heavy lineup, but it's really been the guards running the show so far. We've seen Clink and Ando be the guys taking the lead for this team. Ando's got 6 points, of course, from those 2 threes. Cliff Clink, pardon me, that's a tough one to say. Cliff Clink Scales has 4 points already in this game. It's interesting that they've done this because the Lightning probably watched that Brampton game and figured that Halifax would try to play inside.
Talked a little bit about that Brampton game because you saw a bit of it. Halifax and Brampton last night. Halifax lost that one by a score of 102. I guess your thoughts on what you saw?
Well, they were really, you can see how they game planned for each individual game because they were really focused on their bigger guys. We saw Hannibal almost immediately into the game, and we haven't even seen him yet. And we really saw that Halifax was trying to work it down low. Tyrone Watson was another guy getting a lot of looks early. Down low by the hoop, they were just trying to crash and bang for their buckets there. But this time we haven't really seen them go down low much at all. That are very, very early in the game. We saw them try to work it down to Parham and Jones, but a lot of the work since has been around the perimeter, and I think that's because London's really got a good lockdown going down low. No one's getting open, and they're clogging passing lanes to the front court. So Halifax, we've seen a couple of 24-second violations. A lot of that is because they keep looking to move it inside, but London's really stopping them, not letting it happen, and then they have to settle for an outside shot, and they aren't really making them, unless you're Ando.
2 for 4 to start this game from beyond the arc. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Aforementioned Ando taking it up. Again, MBLC's first Japanese-born player. Standing 6 foot tall. It's quick too. Kale chips it in, and it's good there from Watson. He gets his first bucket of the game.
Watson, a guy to watch. He's been one of the top Canadian players. With Richard Amarty's suspension a little indefinite, Watson could emerge as the top Canadian player in the league this year.
Right, we talked a bit about that. Richard Amarty having a fantastic season. Plays for Brampton.
He punted it all away.
Well, he played for Brampton in last game that London played Brampton here in London. It was a very close game and unfortunately frustrating for Brampton near the end. And Amarty just sort of took the ball and kicked it into the stand. So he has been suspended indefinitely, likely because of that. They didn't obviously say why. But anyways, again, it's going to be.
Kids Day would probably be a good reason for a suspension there.
Yeah, anyways, it'll be interesting to see who will win Canadian of the Year, because he sort of seemed to be a front runner for that. Off to Young. And now to Haywood. Back to Fisher. Brand new look here from Halifax. Ando, the only one still on the floor from the starters. St. Johnson, he's come in here for London. Moves it into the corner. Tosses it long. Here's Hart. And he stepped out of bounds.
Refs really watching those out of bounds calls along the line there, right by the corner of the three-point line.
2:48 on the clock here in the first quarter. Ando. Left. Gives it off to Fisher. Forrest Fisher, 34 years young. He comes into this team as we see a great shot from Tyrone Watson. It's 17 points last night. A hot hand doing it here tonight. Moss to John Hart. 2:10 on the clock. Haywood goes to the hoop and it drains. So the Rainmen take the lead 20-18. 2 minutes to go now. Adrian Moss keeps possession for London. Moves around Mills. Off to Phillips. He's got Young in front of him there. Moss down, gets an open shot in the corner, and it's short.
Moss really able to get open there. This Moss-Ando matchup bears watching. Ando looks like he's keeping up.
Ando. To Young, to Fisher. Fisher takes it for three. It's no good. And Hart with great ball control. Mills doesn't have it.
Just can't get those passes to land right in front of Mills like you want him to. Another close call. Jonathan Mills unable to finish.
Minute 14 on the clock. Lazar set to come on for London. This is Foster for three. No. St. Johnson had to battle for that rebound. It falls out of play.
Took there too. Young, not exactly a small guy. Not exactly a big guy. It's not a collision you like to see if you're the line.
Lazar giving it off here to Moss. .44 seconds left. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Intercepted, and here comes Young all the way, and oh!
That one every day, the 360 slam from Young. Impressive. Pro almost touched the scoreboard.
I just sort of bumped into Marvin Phillips after. Two big dunkers there, and Marvin
Phillips is talking to him.
Yeah, he's certainly exchanging words. Raymond have a lead, 22-18. Moss in the corner. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Can't get rid of it again. Halifax with some stellar D, and that's going to be a...
That was quite the hit on Fisher, too. You could hear that from up here. Hope Fisher's all right.
As we mentioned, Fisher, a 34-year-old. Don't see very many players of that age in this league. He seems to be all right. So Rainmen keep possession. 6.2 on the clock now. Young on the inbound. Off to Foster, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foster will not get the shot off in time. So the Halifax Rainmen have a 22-18 lead after the first quarter. London off to a good start, but Halifax some great defense.
Well, we've seen Coach Knox sort of try to play a style where he almost wants to play the other team's game, at least for a little bit. And we're seeing him sort of have that type of a game. They were working it inside, and that's what we knew of Halifax coming in. But then they stopped doing that. And Halifax did a really good job of recognizing that. He had them sort of change to more of a zone style, but not quite a zone, if that makes any sense.
Not really.
What he did is he had, thank you, Marty.
Go ahead.
He had the two big men on each side of the key, but not necessarily locking in with one of the other Lightning players' big men. They didn't necessarily have, they didn't stick to a man. And then they had their three guards play their man-to-man and run around while their two bigs.
No, what we're
they rim with their two bigs and let the guards do the running around. And what it did is the Lightning guards were so well defended, they would try to work it down low, and there were two Halifax as the ball came. So if we're looking into this second half, London's going to have to do something about that. Look for them. They're going to have Hart, Moss, who were just in the game. We'll see who they come out with. Based on that backcourt, I would think they're looking to start playing more of a perimeter game. So look for them to maybe work something up. Al Stewart's been scoring really nicely lately. I'd like them to draw some plays up for him because use his basket. We also haven't seen anything from Emmanuel Little yet. That's not a guy who you quiet this long, so look for Little to get more plays for himself too.
Marvin Phillips with 10 points through this first quarter. No one has more than 2 points on London. Marvin Phillips.
Who has 10?
I mean, certainly going through Phillips to the first quarter. It's working. London keeping pace here with Halifax 22-18 here at Budweiser Gardens. Marty Thompson, Chris Croucher, the booth. We'll be back here tomorrow when the London Lightning take on the St. John Millrats. Again, another team that London has not seen this year. Another East Coast coming out. They are taking on, I believe it's Windsor tonight. Try to keep you updated on those. My apologies, they're taking on Windsor. On the other game, Mississauga is taking on Moncton. Moncton have a 95-90 lead. Just winding down. It's actually 97-92, so Moncton set to win that one, and it looks like Mississauga will now lose their 8th straight game. Massive for the Mississauga Power. They're sinking like a standings. In fact, with that loss, they would go into the cellar. Or sorry,
really
the bottom.
Unfortunate too. They looked like one of the big turnaround stories in the NBL early.
So again, have the lead there against Mississauga, and then in the other game, just going to try to keep you updated on that. Looks like Windsor have the lead against St. John, 66-50. That one just got in halftime. Zane Johnson can't get it. Marvin Phelps with a big offensive rebound, intercepted. Joey Haywood couldn't tip it across, and
double dribble on Zane there.
So Halifax get the ball back, and I mean, they have an aggressive defensive style. I mean, it just seems like they're pouncing on the ball, and they're almost not afraid to jump ahead.
They're being very opportune now, and the issue with that is sometimes you leave yourself exposed. But again, other than that play where they had Young running around, they've usually kept their bigs in close so that they can play that style and not necessarily give up an easy layup.
Fisher off to Ando. 4 seconds on the shot clock. He goes up and oh, wow. Ando, 2 points and a trip to the line.
Absolutely fantastic play from Seiya Ando. He gets the loop around there and very difficult shot. It's one of those ones we see it so often that we almost underestimate just how challenging it is to pull off.
So Seiya Ando goes to the line. Big night from him. This is leading the team in that category. Little keeping possession. Moss, finds Lazar, and that's a huge block from Jones. And Haywood on the run. He likes to do that too. He's a quicker player. Zane Johnson off to Lazar. He'll try again at the hoop, and what's the call?
That's going to be a foul. 2 shots there as Lazar almost got his second chance at that. He almost traveled too, but 2 shots. I'm not so sure he was taking a shot though. I would have thought this would go for an inbound.
Darnell Lazar at the line, 2 shots for number 33. No name on the back of the jersey yet. Of course, he only signed a couple days ago, and if you missed that, Elvin Mims was released to make way for Lazar. So,
not truly released. He's
it's
still
true.
On the London Lightning bench, only in 7 today.
Yeah, he's wearing the suit and tie. Officially, I guess, if you want to say full-time assistant coach. 3 is no good from Fisher. On the break, 25-19, 10.5 left in the half. St. Johnson clinks off and no good for 3. Refs are making a call here. It's a foul, gonna go. That's his 2nd foul. Moss on the inbound. Off to Lazar, and it's goaltending. I mentioned that aggressive defense. That was Young, who just tipped that before it went into the rim. Ando. Up to Haywood. 3 is good. And Joey Haywood, fantastic start from him this game. 28-21, the Rainmen have a sizable lead here, 10-10, second quarter.
The other thing they've done is slow this game to a crawl. 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's only 28-21.
And the Rainmen, I mean, limiting the Brampton A's to 102 points is certainly something to hang your hat on, as we see Emmanuel Little trying to jam, and it's no good.
Emmanuel Little is just trying to cram on someone right now.
Haywood. Looking for a run, maybe. Flips it off. This is Fisher with it. Jones in motion. Back to Young. Makes it up, and it's good for 2. A lot from the Halifax Rainmen. Brings them to 30 points. 9.5 left in the second quarter. Johnson. To Little. And what's the call here? It'll be another foul, likely against Fisher. So that'll be Fisher's 3rd foul. Well, Al Stewart preparing to come on for London. Stephen Barrett coming in for Halifax. Sorry, Sefton Barrett.
2 games ago, Barrett, 30 points. Keep an eye on him, averaging 15 a game.
Really not a bad option off the bench for the Rainmen. Second one's good from Emmanuel Little. Make it 30-23, 9:20 on the clock. Ando, Haywood. Off to Ando for 3. It's no good. Johnson to and there's going to be a foul.
Just sort of forces the contact there with Sefton Barrett.
So it's going to be another foul against the Rainmen. That's their 6th foul this quarter. Oh, gives it off to Ando. He's going to wait for his team to move into position. The Rainmen have the lead, and they don't. St. Johnson gets it back. 30-23.
Got to cross mid.
8:50 on the in the second quarter, rather. St. Johnson good for 2.
Too easy for.
Moves it up here for London. St. Johnson for 3. No good. Gets tipped around and Halifax get possession. Haywood looks, gives it off to Jones, and it won't go. Jones gets his own rebound though, and fresh shot clock, 8 minutes now on the game clock in the second quarter. Ando. To Haywood. 6 seconds on the shot clock, and it won't go. And Johnson with the to Al Stewart. He takes it to the hoop. That's his last. There's the foul.
Great job by Lazar. The pump fake causes, I believe that was Watson, pardon me, Jones, to leave his feet. He almost landed right on Lazar. But the hot like you are there, if you're Emmanuel Jones, don't let Lazar have the easy shot there.
Rainmen call a timeout, and all of a sudden their lead has been shrunk to 3. 30-27 here in the second quarter. Marty Thompson, Chris Crown in the booth here with you tonight. We thought that Halifax was going to play sort of try to rough and tumble London a little bit, but it seems like their exterior shooting is what's really working for them right now. Getting a lot of their points that way. I guess your thoughts on how they've been playing so far.
Well, simply the volume of three-pointers is a little shocking. And then you realize it's all from one man. Say Ando, he's leading his team with 9 points. But not the greatest shooting numbers, 2 of 7 from three-point land. We still got a lot of game to go. Those are numbers to be sure. This is a team, they've been playing more perimeter, but since we last talked, they've actually moved it down inside again. Except for Ando, who's still shooting from three-point a lot. But the London Lightning are doing a good job defending. They've really earned this comeback. And the way this game's going, these coaches are both making excellent adjustments for what they're seeing from the other team here. This could be a flip-flopping type of game for that timeout now by the Halifax Rainmen. That could mean another sort of flip of momentum. We saw it going, but now they get to sort of hit reboot and try this again.
And have the lead here at Budweiser Gardens, 30-27. In Brampton last night on their first Ontario road trip of the season. They'll have to take another trip at the end of this month. 10 games for the Rainmen of January. It's the 10th, but really they've just got started through their first road trip, and they'll be right back out again later on this month. London and Halifax met in the first ever NBLC final back in 2012. Back then, the teams played other divisions quite a bit more than they do now. This will be the only time Halifax comes to London, and then London only go out east once, play everyone once. Ando up against Stewart, 7.5 left in the half. Barrett off to Ando, charges through, and that's going to be too rough on Emmanuel Little by the looks of it.
Looked like he got all ball there. The London coach is definitely not happy with that call.
So Ando at the line, looking to hit double digits. Leading the game with 11 points. Marvin Phillips with 10. Little, 7:10 on the clock, and that's going to be a call against Joey Haywood with the Halifax Rainmen. So this will be Al Stewart going to the line here for 2. And another foul. Al Stewart at the line here. Oof. Stewart misses it, but a big offensive rebound. Gives it off to Zane Johnson for 3. No good from Zane there. Would have appeared at the top. Ando. 6:52. Barrett charges through, up and over, and foul.
Great little play there from Barrett. Takes a big old fall doing it.
So Halifax making a change here. It's like, my apologies, Hannibal's coming into the game. Barrett at the line. And it's good, so make it 34-28. 6:45 left in the second quarter. As always at halftime, we'll have What's Cooking with Bill Ovens. Favorite part of the week? Mills with the hook, it's no good. Hannibal with his first rebound.
We get the double dose of Bill Ovens this weekend.
Yes, we do. Double dose of Bill. What could go wrong? Watson with it. Gives it off, and ooh, big block there from Mills. Stewart to Little, and ball falls out of play.
Just loses the handle there. Big play by Jonathan Mills, though. More athletic than a lot of people think. He's almost sneaky athletic.
Ando. Off to Barrett. At the top here for Watson, and another foul. Looks like this one's going to go against Lazar. So 34-28, just under 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Again, a little later start here tonight. So cheers to everyone who's watching halftime at the Windsor game as well. Obviously the game out east. Moncton beat Mississauga 100-94. So again, Mississauga slipped again. Now lost 8 straight games. They've of the Central Division and the entire NBLC. Moncton climb out of that basement. They're now to a record of 6-11. Mississauga now at 5-11. Stewart. Lazar, and there it is. I mean, he's making an impact already.
Great play by the new guy, and you can see sort of why he was so highly touted in the D-League before coming here. Just some excellent skill and touch to be able to get that ball in there and able to create contact. Get to the line, shooting one. It's 34-30 for the Rainmen, 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Lazar is, and you mentioned played in the D-League. Played one pre-season game, that was with the Pacers a number of years ago. Played in Australia as well, averaging 16 points per game in the D-League. We were talking a bit off air, you say he's 29, but that's too old for the D-League, right? It's developmental.
Well, it's not necessarily too old for the D-League in that they will have some veteran players there for a while, but the team he played for was the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. And what happens with that team is if there's an NBA team that wants to send a prospect down, but they don't have an affiliate team in the D-League, he goes to Fort Wayne. So for Fort Wayne, there's more of a priority on having those spots open for a younger guy. And therefore, Lazar, he was having a rough year. He was only averaging 8 points per game. So when they looked to make a roster spot open, they had to cut Lazar because he wasn't producing the way they wanted him to. And at 29, there wasn't really much more development left in him.
Halifax with possession, they can't get it. Here comes Barrett. Let's get back to Click Skills. He's calms his team down. Got Barrett to his left. Haywood. 10 seconds clock. The game clock. Clink Scales. Charges through, up and down, tosses it up. It's no good. Hart collects. He's got Lazar to his right. Mills takes it. Oh, dispossessed, and now here come the Rainmen. This is Haywood at the hoop, and it's good.
Heavy challenge from Zane Johnson, too. Good job by Haywood to get that up there.
36-33, 4 minutes left in the second. Foul against Emmanuel Little, he lets the ref know.
Halifax was getting a little too handy defense, could have got called for maybe a couple earlier, but the refs just decided enough.
Chris Kale comes into the game. Replaces Hannibal. Hannibal has a cup of coffee and comes out of the game. So Clinton Springer-Williams is prepared to come on for London. Springer-Williams is an interesting case with the Lightning. They have a set of Canadian players, and he's been the one that's really been standing out. He's sort of been playing in that limited minute role in terms of just sort of rotating with the guards and working his way into the team that way.
Well, you look at some of his performances, he has been given limited minutes, but he's done an excellent job with them, including 10 points in 15 minutes. You got a game with 7 points in 11 minutes, and he's really starting to work his way up. Last game against Winnipeg, he played his career high in minutes with 20, so he's definitely started to earn Coach Knox's trust. And they were really looking for a wing, and he's, instead of having to go out and find one, Springer-Williams actually has emerged as a legitimate option off the.
And a battle there for Halifax as you see off. Barrett, 3:30 on the clock, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Haywood, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Clink Scales. Now into Watson. 4 seconds on the shot clock. He's up against Mills, battles, and that's going to be a call. Going to go against Watson by the looks of it.
Mills looks a little hurt.
Mills is good. He comes back up. Meantime, Foster's coming in for Halifax as Barrett's coming out. Marvin Phillips comes in here for London. Replaces Emmanuel Little. So 3:14 on the clock, 36-34, and have the lead. Hart.
Full court press here from the Halifax Rainmen.
Hart brings it across. Clinton Springer-Williams in motion down low. Mills in front. Hart takes a shot for two, and unassisted, it's no good.
You know, I really like that decision by Halifax to do the full court press. John, a shooting guard, not used to being the primary ball handler there. See if you can force a turnover off of him.
Haywood, good for two.
Haywood, one of the many Canadians on Halifax who are having great years. Hannibal, Barrett, Watson, and Haywood, all key parts of this Rainmen team.
Johnson, 2.5 left. Springer Williams takes it up for 2. And he'll to the line as well as the Regina Mundi grad from London. Gets a rousing applause from his hometown crowd. So that ties it up. 8-all. Rainmen have possession. They've lost the lead. Haywood. Oof, fakes Phillips and goes over top, and big rebound there from Springer Williams. Johnson. 2 minutes left in the quarter. Mills. Bounce pass and intercepted there by Foster. Tosses it up. This is Haywood. He's short of the rim and he keeps it in but just gives it away. So Zane Johnson comes back here for London. Marvin Phillips for 3. It's no good.
Nothing but net, but unfortunately it was the outside of the netting that Marvin Phillips hit there.
Timeout called by the Rainmen again. So with 1:38 left in the quarter, it's 38-all between London and Halifax. Marty Thompson, Chris Croucher up in the booth here. Chris, London battled back in this second quarter.
Yeah, London's done a good job of battling back, but Halifax has also done it a bit to themselves. It's really been some sloppy basketball we've here since the last time out. And really, Halifax has to look to themselves. They were executing so well early in the game on offense and defense, and their defense is just sort of shut down a bit, and we've just seen the ball sort of rolling all over the place now. One of these teams has to get under control if they want to take a stranglehold on this game. Up's going early. He had 10 points in maybe the first 7 minutes of the game. He's still sitting at 10, and I don't think he's had more than maybe 2 shots in that time.
So again, with just 1:38 on the clock, this game is tied. Just about heading into halftime. Again, we'll have What's Cooking with Bill Evans. Be right back for the third quarter and more. Pretty big crowd on hand here tonight. Even bigger crowd expected for tomorrow afternoon's game against St. John. There's the retooling St. John. They've gone 3-7 in their last 10 games after that rebound. They got some wins against this Halifax Rainmen team last month. And just trying to work back to that form. Of course, they dumped a lot of their roster in December, including Akil Carr, one of their marquee signings of the offseason. We're underway here. Halifax missed that shot, and there is going to be a foul call. Looks like this one is going to go against Young on Halifax. Oh, my apologies. Going to go against Marvin Phillips on the Lightning.
I don't think anyone there knew what the call was. Foster hit the ball out of anger, thinking that it was someone on Halifax who'd gotten it. Now he's the one taking the inbound.
Foster. The clink scales. Foster into the corner to Kale. It's good for 3.
And we've seen him do that so often, especially during his time with the Island Storm. Kale, a bigger guy, it's hard to block that shot, but he's got a smooth stroke and he's able to get the 3 there.
Hart moves it in. Now we're under a minute left in this quarter. Johnson into Phillips. Another foul. Looks like it's going to go against Kale. So again, Halifax over the limit. Yet another foul for the Rainmen this quarter. Another trip to the line here for London. 46 seconds left in the second. So London making 2 changes. Al Stewart coming in, Emmanuel Little coming in, Jonathan Mills and John Hart coming out. So 46 seconds left in the quarter. Foster to Kale for 3. No.
Total heat check shot.
Halifax keep possession. 30 seconds left. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Foster waits for direction from Claros. Keeping possession, takes a 3 ball, and it rims out again. So now 16 seconds on the clock. St. Johnson brings it across here for London. A little now. 9 seconds left. Springer Williams. Phillips can't keep it. 2 seconds left, and Emmanuel Jones, my apologies, that's Watson. Good for 2, so the Halifax Rainmen keep the lead heading into halftime. 43, Halifax have the lead. Marty Thompson and now Bill Evans up in the booth. Hey, how's it going?
Great, good game tonight. It's a lot closer than I thought. I still really don't expect London to have trouble winning this game.
Really? Why is that?
Well, I did the stats. I'm a stats guy, you know.
Right.
So since I'm a stats guy,
yeah, there's
my,
lots.
My statistical soapbox tonight is bench scoring, meaningless stat. This week I spent most of my spare time box scores from the Halifax Rainmen, and one column I have starter or dressed or whatever, and they don't have 5 regular starters, and it doesn't matter whether you start or you just dress. In the Halifax scheme of things, you play about the same amount. So while I'm doing this, and I thought they talk about on TV, so when you're at home watching, you can say, "Ha! I listened to Bill on the London game." That's a meaningless stat.
Let's talk a bit about Lazar, new guy for London. I guess your thoughts on him so far?
Yeah, I think he's going to help Phillips. He's a big guy. He's a 4. He's a 5. One of the things I really liked about him was his defensive fundamentals. There was very early in the game I think it was one of the first times he actually got beaten badly. Instead of chasing the player like 95% of basketball players will do when they're beat, he forgot about the player, turned and ran straight back to the basket. Then once he got to the basket, then he turned and the player wasn't, he moved on him. As it turns out, he fouled. A bad foul could have gone either way, but it was a good defensive play. He didn't foul him where he'd foul him for sure. He went back to the good spot. He's had some good coaching early in life, and if he can get the other London players to play like that, a lot of the time the whole pass. London was really weak on defense in the first half. They were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. I don't know if it seemed to you and Chris that they weren't into the game yet. They really weren't into it. Like they looked at the scoreboard, they looked at Halifax's record, they looked at the shooting stats for the two teams, and they thought, we just have to throw our sweaters out and we're going to win this.
Well, and a bit about Halifax's defense, because they a very, very good first half, I thought. Lots of turnovers generated, seemed to be very aggressive on the ball. I guess your thoughts in terms of how Halifax played behind the ball?
I thought Halifax showed a lot better, I call it the fumble finger factor. Where you don't give up the ball and you hold on to the ball.
That's FFF for all people at home.
Yeah. We'll come up with something more politically acceptable. But I was running some numbers before the game and turnover. Okay, Lightning so far this year have turned the ball over 234 times and stolen at 128. Rainmen turned it over 236, stole it 156. So that's that's 24 on the one side and 28 on the other side of where somebody's fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Like the two guys have been fighting over the ball, and it's fumbled, and the possession's changed.
Jonathan Mills, looks like we were just talked about that on the broadcast. If Lazar turns out to be that good, Mills might even become sort of a platoon for Phillips. Lazar. So I guess talk a little bit about how he's played tonight. And
I think Mills has played great. I talked to him coming out the tunnel, and his knees, he's great. I watched him play, I watched him warm up, and he's not favoring it at all. He made a really nice block on Hannibal, number 33 for Halifax. I feel like I know some of these players, but only by their number, because I've spent the last week with my computer and a flashlight inputting numbers. But the Hannibal, I thought really nice block. I went to my numbers, and Hannibal only averages 3, 4, maybe 4 shots a game. So Mills, he made the block, and he had to make the block. And these are professional athletes, and they should make the shot when they're in there. But might have been a better block if it had been on Joey Haywood.
Yeah, absolutely. What about London without Moss and Stewart?
Not a good idea. But I think, and I note down London, and beside it I wrote Jick Bink, and Marty's looking at it going, I don't speak Martian. But what that reminds me, it's old memory games from university days, but Jick Bink, just in case, because you never know. What I think they're doing is they're spreading up the ball handling with Johnson and Little and Hart, and see how much pressure they can take. It may come a time in the playoffs, maybe Al's hurt, maybe Moss is in foul trouble. I think right now they're looking for the emergency point guard.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're doing when those guys are off the floor.
Okay, half court versus run and gun.
When I was doing the Rainmen, they looked like a run and gun kind of team with the numbers of shots they were taking, and I was doing them and sort of the Mill Rats at the same time, and lots of shots. So I thought, well, maybe these guys are the type that just go ahead, we're not going to play defense, score as much as you want, we'll score more. And then I pushed the actual numbers, and London averages 92 shots a game, and the Rainmen average 85 shots a game. So, wow. And I figure on a 48-minute game, 3 possessions a minute, that's 144 total possessions. Are you taking notes? Possessions per team. So yeah. The Rainmen and the Lightning are playing at a quicker pace than a 20-second possession, but the London is actually playing at a quicker pace than the Rainmen play at, which surprised me because I thought with the Rainmen, if they don't run, they're not going to have a chance.
Yeah, and finally, Rainmen sort of shot themselves in the foot near the end. Foul trouble, lots of fouls.
Lots of fouls, and it really limits your defensive options in the second half because if you got a key player hurt, okay, then you're going to have to shuffle your lineup. And even if you don't get a key player hurt, you're giving these guys not only the free shot, the free throw, that doesn't burn any time off the clock. If you're losing, you can get points back and not burn up the clock.
Yeah,
so there you go.
All righty, well, Bill, as always, a pleasure. We're heading off to break, but we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh.
Not again.
Okay. Oh my God. What? They lock us in? There's some sandwiches and some water. Maybe we might not get to go home tonight.
All right.
We'll see you in a few minutes.
We're going to take a break. Thank you very much, Bill. Again, Rainmen 43, Lightning 40. We'll be back in about 6 minutes or so. London down, but not out here at Budweiser Gardens. Hello and welcome back to Budweiser Gardens, London versus Halifax. The Rainmen have a 43-40 lead. They have possession. They're in navy blue, moving left to right. London in all white, moving right to left. Marty Thompson, Chris Croucher up in the booth here, and Halifax with a nice J. That's from Young. 3 points. It's at 40. Hart on the fade, and it's no good. Clink Scales keeps possession, chips off in the corner for Kale, misses the three, and once again, Halifax looking to that three ball early on. Stewart takes it for two. It's no good.
That's the second time we've seen Ando struggle with speed, though. I don't know why the Lightning aren't trying to take advantage of that matchup.
And misses the two. Phillips on the rebound, passes it off. Little tosses it up, and that's going to be no basket. Unfortunately, it was a gorgeous play. Traveling is what the refs call it.
Unsure of that being a travel. Very surprising call from the refs there.
Regardless, Halifax will inbound. They have a 6-point lead, 46-40.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone get called for traveling, making the pass for. That's got.
It's true. Halifax is keeping possession. Clink Scales in no rush. He'll take it through. Oh, Ando. He is wide open, and that's for three. It's no good. Little on the rebound. To Stewart. Off to John Hart. This would be for three. It's good.
Sort of thing the need to do to get energized here. Hart able to make the three, and there's a new graphic around the ring of the Bud Gardens there that just about scared me. Almost jumped through the roof on that.
Little bright colors. We can't do bright colors here. Speaking about colors, big fan of these Rainmen jerseys. I know it's been said in other broadcasts. I've listened to a couple of our colleagues out east, but these uniforms are wonderful. I'm really a fan of them.
They're a lot like those ones OKC had, the
Yep.
OKC Thunder's third jerseys there. But we sort of have seen the almost identical jerseys from all these teams, so it's kind of nice to see Halifax switch it up by having the Rainmen down the side of the chest.
And sort of that I'm going to say retro ABA, because obviously Halifax are associated with another ABA, which, you know, the ABAs from the 70s and that type of style looks really, really good. I know that sort of vertical line always looks good in that. That's going to be another foul.
Also from that era is Kevin Young's afro.
Good one. Good one.
Thank you.
So 9:50 left in the third quarter. Raymond have a 49-43 lead. Ando chips it off. This is Young.
Young has a huge mismatch with Stewart. Gets it. See Young take advantage of that.
Young will get the ball eventually. Shot clock. He gets it off somehow, and he'll take a.
Amazed that almost made it there. That was just sort of a Hail Mary heave from Kevin Young.
So Young goes to the line. Lightning's third foul this game, or this quarter, I should say. Young at the line. Jonathan Mills preparing to come in. Replace Darnell Lazar. Off to Mills. And now into Marvin Phillips. 8 seconds on the shot clock. 9:15 left in the quarter.
Pretty little play by Phillips. He's a little stutter jab to get to the rim.
Clink Scales. Off to Young, and it's a foul. Gonna go against the Rainmen. And Kevin Young. Young, he's a physical guy, leading the team 7 rebounds per game. Kansas grad as well. Phillips up against Young here. Ooh, to get that off. And Mills with a nice offensive rebound.
That move to get space from Marvin Phillips deserved to end in 2 points. Glad Mills makes it up.
Ando. Takes a shot. It's no good. Ando will get it back. A teammate tipped it to him. Clink Scales. Passes it around, and there's Parham. It's good for 2.
Some nifty passing there. London, they're just trying these passes right now, as we see right there. They just got to simplify it a bit.
John Hart for 3, and it's no good. Halifax get possession back to 47. And as you said, Chris, it's almost turnover after turnover the last couple minutes at least for London.
Well, I can see Coach Knox thinking, hey, we're struggling a bit. We need to go back to our game. And their game is transition, as we see another 3-pointer from Halifax. It's transition, but that's just not working. Their passing's not there, and they end up chucking these long passes and forcing Halifax is forcing turnover passes. Wow.
And another 3 again.
A 3.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Another distance shot. That was Clink Scales in the corner.
Kevin Young, though, just about went armpit to the rim to get that little tip in.
So Al Stewart goes to the line here. 58-49. 7:26 left in the third quarter. Rainmen making 2 changes. Ando comes out, and Foster comes in. Young comes out, and looks as if Watson will make another appearance for the Rainmen. Again, they're up 58-49. Stewart can't drain his end, 1 opportunity, and London now shooting about 75% from the line tonight. Halifax, 100%. Gone 8 for 8. Foster. Clink Scales. 5 seconds on the shot. Chips it back. This is Foster. It's no good. And Mills had a battle for that rebound, and that'll be another foul against Halifax by the looks of it. Just under 7 minutes to go in the third.
Halifax 15 fouls in this game. London just 9. All of the points from the line that they'd like.
Incredible, 42% from the line. Mills up against Parham. Oh, nice job there by Manuel Little.
Manuel Little just so good at attacking the rim. It's amazing how he gets these open lanes to the basket. Just sort of shakes his defender and aggressively will not be stopped. Marvin Phillips able to find a pass for him there.
Clinks into the quarter. This is Foster, and that's a foul again. We knew this game was going to be physical. They're going to be long as well. So that's another foul against Marvin Phillips. That's his second, team's 4th foul. Rainmen sitting at 3 fouls this quarter.
Another interesting thing for the Rainmen is that they've been a very good team in terms of not turning. They're second last in terms of numbers, so they haven't really given up the ball much, and that's continuing this game. They've got 12 in this game, which is a little higher than you'd like, but compared to London's 7, not at all.
So Zane Johnson coming back on here for London. Replaces John Hart. London adding some size maybe. Johnson will go up against Fisher here. As Little brings it across for the Lightning. Mills to Johnson for 3. Yes!
Just what London needed. They got to capitalize on the opportunity. Something they need to start doing if they want to keep keeping up with the Rainmen. Oh my goodness.
And Watson nearly put that in for the Rainmen instead.
Beautiful
Zane Johnson
move to step around his defenders there.
And Marvin Phillips nearly completed another beautiful move. And immediate timeout. It looks like it'll be a foul against Foster when we come back. But good stuff for Zane Johnson, obviously the spark they needed.
Well, they've been looking for someone to start making their shots. It hasn't been a great game for many players on the London Lightning. Marvin Phillips leading the way with 12 points. But again, he had 10 in the first 7 minutes of the first quarter. So there hasn't really been anyone to get things going for the London Lightning. Lazar looked good there. Him in a while. I'm surprised we haven't seen him. He's shooting 4 of 6% from the field. So you'd think that would get him more looks. Maybe they're trying to ease him in. On the Halifax side, they've actually had a great team effort coming in here. You've got Young, Haywood, Watson, Keol, and Ando all between 11 and 8. It's just a great job by the entire team.
And pretty much, well, everyone's seen the floor. The only person to not take a shot yet is Barrett. And, and we know that he can shoot, right? It was 30 points the other night. Or
two games ago, he had
2 games
30.
ago, yeah.
And then he also had 14 against the Brampton A's there. And even in this game, he at least got to the line to put up 2 points. Foster and Hannibal have seen a combined 8 minutes, as well as Fisher, who saw 7 minutes. But the guys playing the minutes, they're producing in that time, and that's everything you can ask for if you're the Halifax Rainmen.
So we're just about to get things back underway here at Budweiser Gardens. Again, the Rainmen 60, London Lightning 54. London battling at home here. Again, they play tomorrow. We'll have be on Sunday at 2 p.m. Al Stewart on the inbound. Gives it off to Mills. 16 seconds of the shot clock, and Marvin Phillips was fouled on his way up. Foul's going to go against Watson. So now with 5:26 left in the third quarter, Marvin Phillips goes to the line. 5 fouls for the Rainmen, 4 for the London Lightning. 1 shot coming up. We've certainly seen, I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this, certainly seen maybe more exciting games here at Budweiser Gardens, but it's a battle.
Well, it's just been a sloppy game so far, but both teams capable of playing better than this. And it's still a close game. Anyone can take it here.
Stewart moved in. Again, they're trying to keep pace with the Windsor Express, who are atop the division. Same goes for the Island Storm. They actually hit 12 wins. London sitting at 11. Windsor also sitting at 11 heading into tonight's game.
There's definitely been sort of a clear-cut top 3 teams in the NBL so far.
And Halifax has been a part of that second. It's been Brampton and Halifax, sort of that second tier, and then below that you've got Mississauga, Moncton, St. John, sort of in there. But
Moncton really working their way into that second tier, though.
Yeah, they've had some good games. Obviously, they've good coaching there as well. Sort of led them from being a team that people sort of counted out to winning 3 games in a row, I think, at some point. What happens when the playoffs come around, because especially if a team like St. John ends up spending the entire year rebuilding, they come out flying against a team like the Island Storm. In fact, they beat the Island Storm the other night. It's certainly possible, especially with what the Halifax Rainmen did last season. Ando with possession.
They really want to get that pick set for Ando.
And a long shot from Fisher is So 4.5 left in the third. Moss off to Mills. Takes it up for 2. Keeps it within 3, 63-60. 4:20 on the clock now. Ando. To Jones. Haywood spins, takes it to the hoop. Marvin Phillips rebound, and suddenly this game is 1 score away from being tied. Adrian Moss can't get it. Mills will. Under 4 minutes to go in the third. Rainmen have fouled out. London have 4 fouls to their name. Ando. This is Fisher, who open 3, and he gets it.
Veteran move to get Zane Johnson off his feet, force Fisher able to nail the 3. 66-62, 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go.
It drains for Emmanuel Little.
And again, Little just so good around the basket. If he gets even a step towards there at full speed, he's going to attack that rim.
So 3.5 now. Rainmen with the 2-point lead. They get dwindled down to 1 here. Emmanuel Little at the line. It's good. London looking to get their first lead since just at the of the second quarter. Ando spins off of Moss, and that's going to be a foul. Moss caught reaching.
Moss almost a desperation move as Ando was by him.
It's now with 3:20 on the clock here. Rainmen 66, Lightning 65. With possession, 10 seconds on the shot clock, 3:16 on the game clock. Haywood into the corner. Parham can't get to it, and it's out of bounds off of London. So Halifax keep possession. Fresh shot clock, 3 minutes to go in the third. Inbound coming up for Zane Johnson. Or my apologies. Defending it. And it's going to go back out off of London again. So now 2 seconds on the shot clock, 3:07 on the game clock. Ando can't get the shot off in time, so London will get possession. 1 point differential here.
I think Ando just forgot about the shot clock there for a second. It looked like he was trying to make a move.
Moss up against Ando. Gives it, spins, takes it up, and it won't roll. And there's going to be another foul call. Jump
ball.
Parham not happy with the call.
I didn't see anyone on the London Lightning touching that basketball. And it's going to be Lightning ball from the possession arrow. Okay.
Well, London get another chance to take the lead. 66-65, 2:50 left in the third. Zane Johnson, this would do it. No. Emmanuel Little with the rebound, tosses it up. Go.
Ball don't lie, I guess.
Takes it to the hoop. And that's going to be a foul against, looks like Halifax. Or no, it's going to be London.
They're giving it to Mills there. It looked like Watson almost charged right into him. Mills again, just fresh off the IR. You got to hope he's okay.
I see him just taking a slow walk there. He's going straight to the bench. Calling for a sub by the looks of it. Maybe with Carlos Knox off to our side. So Watson at the line here for Halifax. They're up by 1. Watson again led his team against Brampton, 17 of them last night. Boo's come down, he still gets it.
Some rough stuff there between Parham and Little.
Two very physical players. Two very physical teams. 2.5 left. Moss looking for some space. He's got Phillips in front of him. They're playing tight. Phillips. Oh.
If he had looked back to Moss there, Moss would have nailed that three-pointer. Watson to Phillips. We're seeing Ando struggle with these speedy point guards, and you gotta wonder, when is London gonna start taking advantage of that?
Just a quick update from the Windsor Express St. John Millrats game. The Express have a 10-point lead, 116 to 106. It's about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter there. Again, we started a little bit later tonight, so they're a bit ahead of us. Their 7 p.m. tip-off. Ando. Oh, gets the shot off, and it's no good.
They're going to call travel there.
Ooh. So now with just under 2 minutes to go, Rainmen still have that 2-point lead. Moss. Is it across? It's off to Mills. He tosses it up, and it can't drop for him. Been quite a long time since we've seen a basket. 1:22 on the clock, and another foul. And it looks like another trip to the line here for Halifax. So 1:21 on the clock, 67 to 65. Rainmen have the lead. Watson at the line once again. 2 shots. That makes it 12 for 13. The Rainmen been nearly perfect at the line, save for that one miss that Watson had earlier. Second miss. It's now at 1:18 left. Rainmen back up to that 3-point lead. It's been the highest scoring quarter of this game. 25 points for London, 24 for the Rainmen, and that ball will fall out of play. Halifax get possession. And so there's going to be a substitution. Darnell Lazar comes in, Marvin Phillips comes out. And there's...
Surprised to see the amount of time on the bench he's been spending tonight.
Ando comes in and lays up an easy 2-pointer. It's now with 46 seconds to go in the third. Lightning down by 5, they have the ball. Zane Johnson, number 3, he can shoot threes. He can barely keep possession, but that's going to be an over and back.
I don't know how that's an over and back when Halifax very much was there.
Regardless, 70 to 65, 33 seconds left in the quarter.
Some if.
Ando. This is Barrett, and too rough again. Another call as we wind down this third quarter here at Budweiser Gardens. So Tim Parham at the line. And they won't go. 22.6 on the clock. Rainmen 70, Lightning 65. That one will go, just barely. As the Rainmen will make a change. Foster coming into the game, replaces Ando. It's now with 20 seconds on the clock. Shot clock has expired. Try to set up one last play of the quarter to get some more points. Too rough again. That one's going to go against him. Oh, my apologies. Going to go against Watson.
Blocking foul there on Watson.
So another trip for Little this time. 2 shots, and London has not really improved in the free throw department tonight. Still 72% from the line. That'll improve it a little bit. .7 on the clock. Missed. And a quick shot there. It's no good, and Moss was calling for it. Now Moss is going to come back and play D on Haywood. Haywood again with another buzzer beater layup. So make it 73-66. The Rainmen have the lead heading into the fourth quarter.
Hasn't been the best for both teams. Right now, Halifax just seems to want it more than London. London's got a lot of talent on their roster, but it looks like they're kind of coasting, and that's why we see what the score being where it is, 73-66 for Halifax.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Again, Rainmen 73, London Lightning 66. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. $3,615 in attendance here tonight at Budweiser Gardens. Not the best game to be in attendance for, but regardless, it's close as London Lightning are down 66 here at home. Fourth quarter just getting underway. The Halifax Rainmen in blue, London in all whites. And 10 seconds in, we get our first foul of the quarter. It's against Emmanuel Little. Now Halifax have another go at it. This is Barrett. He finds a lane, takes it to the hoop, and that's going to be no basket. Yeah, charging.
Initially, it looked like an absolutely beautiful play by Barrett. It's a shame it wasn't counted.
That's going to be a third foul there from Barrett. We'll try to keep tabs on foul trouble as we get near the end of this game. With the Halifax Rainmen has 4. He's one to look out for right now. Other than that, everyone's sort of staying underneath 3. Not being in too much trouble. Alston. Play from Emmanuel Little, number 23, will go to the line.
He's a guy we haven't really talked about much yet tonight, but he's really going to have to step it up for London to have a big game here. One of the few guys scoring in the second half. He's bumped his points all the way up to 12. Second on the team, only behind Marvin Phillips, but again, Marvin Phillips did most of his damage a while ago. We're seeing Little take over for London.
Emmanuel Little drains the shot, make it 73-69. Big stop for London if they could do it. Foster with it. Backs in. Off to Barrett. Barrett still looking for some space. Backs up. Now off to Watson. My apologies.
Beautiful.
That's Haywood with that one, sorry.
Watson made the pass, though, and that was an absolutely gorgeous one.
Stewart. Up and around, and it will not go. A big stop for Halifax. 10:30 left in the game. 75-69. They have the lead. They have the ball. Foster gets tipped out. Here's Watson. In the corner for three. No good. And it's collected there by London eventually. Emmanuel Little takes it off to Mills. No! Cannot get the alley-oop to go. So 75-69. The score remains. 10 minutes to go now. Haywood with it. We've seen his speed, and once he gets in that top speed, so we see Halifax with it still. Foster up, and it's good for three. So make it 78-69. The Rainmen still have the lead. Stewart. Now to Mills. Back to Stewart. Chips it in. And now here's Hart with it. Tosses it up. It's no good. Parham collects and has to body him, and it's going to be a call. And it looks like it'll be London's possession.
Glad to see Young stepping back into the game. He's been one of the more effective players for Halifax here. Not that they need it. They're up by 9 right now.
Up by 9 with 9:26 left on the clock. It's only going to feel longer than 9 minutes. A lot of fouls in this game as you see Ando. Off to Haywood. Oh, and that's Parham, and that's going to be a foul.
Thought there might have been a travel on Young there right before he made the pass. I certainly heard a couple of fans who agreed with me down below.
So Parham goes back to the line. He's only got 3 points to his name, but 8 rebounds, all on the defensive side. 69, a 10-point lead, the biggest lead of the game here for the Rainmen, coming at an important time. 9 minutes to go in the game. Parham drains the second one. Clutch from the MBLC veteran. So now 9 minutes to go. Al Stewart takes the ball up here for London. Charges. Chips it off, and drained there by Emmanuel Little.
Emmanuel Little's been looking for that dunk all night. Now Stewart with the beautiful feed to find him, and Little knows exactly what to do with that ball.
Ando. Barrett keeps possession for 3. Airballs it.
Not the best shot there from Barrett, as it takes flight and flies right away.
Stewart. Off to Mills. Charges down low. And that's going to be a against the Rainmen. So that'll be 3 fouls for the Rainmen, 3 fouls for the London Lightning here so far. 8:23 left on the clock. So Mills goes line for a really important set for the Lightning. Again, down 71, 8:23 left. Mills gets the first one, 80-72.
I'm looking at the stat sheet right now. Impressive how Halifax has spread out their scoring. Ando, Haywood, and Watson all in double digits. But they got a lot of guys who are really close. Young with 9, Keol with 8, Clinkscales with 7. They're getting points from everyone.
Ando keeps possession, 8 minutes to go. Haywood. 3. No good, and here comes London. Mills can't keep possession. And another turnover and another 2 for the Halifax Rainmen.
Great pass there, and Haywood makes a nice little play. Very, very challenged by London to get that in.
And Emmanuel Little bounces back here with 2 points.
Now we're starting to see some of the basketball we're used to from the London Lightning.
Ando. It's off to Young for 3. Insane.
That's a run-killing 3 right there from Young. That was cold-blooded.
Hart and Halifax looking good. Keep in mind the London Lightning have 7-1 record at home. And it might just be 7-2 as Ando takes it up. It's no good. Off 7 minutes to go. Hart bounces it off to Mills. It's good for 2.
And we'll get running of London too. This is what's been missing all game from these guys. They're really starting to want the ball and want to score here, more than we've seen from them at any point in this game.
Haywood to Ando. Back to Haywood. Both these guys can shoot 3s. Can also charge across. What's the call? It'll be out of bounds. That's going to be out of bounds on Barrett. Well, Halifax making some changes. Fisher comes in. Also on the side, John Hart comes out. St. Johnson comes in.
Halifax has been really making sure that it's Fisher that's guarding Zane Johnson. Johnson, a guy you never really know what you game in, game out. You could get 4 points or you could get 24.
KO also comes in here for Halifax, trying to protect the lead, trying to maybe add some length. Phillips, quick shot, good.
Finally starting to see some Lightning team. You gotta love it if you're a Lightning fan.
Ando, all right, KO in front, makes the run. Got Fisher trying to move across. Ando for 3. Wow.
Again, just an absolute run killer. And again, cold-blooded. Ando with a huge 3.
Got to be answer back 3. Phillips takes it. It's good.
Just what they needed. They can't let this gap get out of control. To within 6 with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to play.
Ando. To Kale. He can shoot 3s. Be another foul. So immediate timeout here. Both offenses come alive here later on in the fourth quarter. 5.5 left to play in the fourth. Rainmen have an 88-82 lead. You mentioned it, the back and forth basketball seeing with this London Lightning team finally coming in the fourth quarter.
Well, London likes to run, and we saw a lot of standing around earlier in this game. London's finally starting to push the ball. We were talking earlier how London likes to play the other team's style. Well, now they're playing their style. They've really brought it back to what they know they're good at, and it's brought them a little closer here. It's still a 6-point gap, and Halifax is one of the more stifling teams defensively in the league. Not to worry if you're London that maybe you left it a little bit late, but there's still some time. All you need is 1 or 2 big stops, and then you can go into the final 2 minutes of the game neck and neck with this Halifax Rainmen team.
It's going to be a fantastic end to this game. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher in the booth here. 7-1 at home, London League, and that is being threatened here tonight by a cagey Rainmen team. We'll be taking the London Lightning all the way to this game. 88-82. The Rainmen have the lead.
On a side note, a very athletic move by Flash there. The London mascot doing a and then shooting the mini basketball gun with perfect pinpoint accuracy to a child in one of the more barren sections of the building.
Yes, of course. Expect to be a lot of children in the arena for tomorrow night's game, I should say. London Life has bought somewhere around 5,000 tickets for tomorrow. So you're going to see lots of that. Ando. Five seconds on the shot clock. He's going to probably shoot. He'll cut in. It gets it off in time. It's good. And they're going to say that's for three.
Unable to get the stops when they need it, but Little here gets tripped up, but they're going to call a travel.
And some choice words for the referee. So the Rainmen will get possession. 5:13 left in the quarter. Great chance to add to their lead. And
Stewart lucky he didn't get called there. A little too rough with Ando.
And that's going to be a foul against Al Stewart. So now London running into a bit of foul trouble. On their fifth foul. Raymond have just three. Ando. Off to Kale for three. No. Phillips with a big defensive rebound. And he can't keep it. They're going to call a foul on Parham by the looks of it. So that's 5 fouls now for Parham. 91-82. 4:50 on the clock. Stewart. Johnson keeps it in. Now back to Stewart. 18 seconds. Foul.
Some rough stuff going on here. Mills and Barrett having a bit of a talk.
It's the refs now getting involved. Coach Carlos Knox for London, he's in there as well. Cooler heads prevail. Certainly frustrating from London's point of view. Down 91-82. Stewart at the a big 2 shots for the Lightning. First one's good. .445 on the clock, 5 fouls each. London down, Al Stewart at the line. It's good. 91-84. Ando. Parham's in front of him. Got Kale as well. Now to Fisher. 7 seconds on the shot clock. 4, 3, 2, 1. Fisher gets well wide of the net.
I think Phillips got a piece of that.
Regardless, a 24-second violation, so London up. They get the ball back. Chips it up. This is Mills. Oh,
Great
boards.
finish. Great finish from Jonathan Mills up close to the basket. And again, heavily contested.
So make it 91-8. Ando charges to the hoop. Cuts around. Oh, gives it to Kale. And big defense from London. They stop the basket. It'll be Rainmen ball. Ando. for three. It's not good. Well, it's going to be a foul against Halifax. Looks like Barrett will be getting it. Just bumping into Mills, who is, he's been getting knocked around quite a bit. Of course, coming back off the injury list. He seems to be battling through it. Little pushes ahead. 3.5 left now.
Shook.
To Johnson. Now to Mills. Johnson calls for it back. Mills just keeps it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. It's up. And it can't be drained there. Last try. And that's going to be another foul.
They're in this game. And really, it suits them that the game is sort of slow to a crawl again the way it has right now. The Halifax have to run with London. London, we've seen them run guys into the ground before.
The ref's just having a word there with Coach Caleros on the Halifax side. Rainmen with 7 fouls this quarter. London with 5. 3:14 left in the game. Rainmen have the 91-86 lead. Emmanuel Little getting set to take 2 shots here. And the Rainmen bringing back in Watson here. So Emmanuel Little. With his first shot of 2. 1-87. Another big shot. Can't get it. Get possession. Moves it across. Calls for Ando. He'll take possession. 3 minutes left. Chance of defense from the home crowd here. London need a stop really as Fisher comes across for 2. No good. He gets the rebound though. He'll drop it. London get it back. Stewart. He's got Phillips open to his right side. Instead he'll take it into Mills. And that won't go. So now 2 left. And Halifax get the ball.
London really needs to capitalize on that stop there. It's a 4-point game, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. They need to get another stop now and make sure that it's on the board with it.
Watson gives it up to Parham. Battles through. Long shot from Fisher. It's good for 3. That is a dagger.
Cold-blooded shot from Fisher. Wow. London really needs some points now off this possession.
And that's going to be a foul against Young. So it looks like Emmanuel Little will go back to the line. Fisher. Threes. Every time he's now got 20. He's gone 4 for 7 from beyond the arc. Two shots for Emmanuel Little. 2 minutes left in the fourth. So make it 94-88. London still down with one more shot to come here. It's good. And now there's the timeout by Carlos Knox and his London Lightning. We'll be right back. Again, the Halifax Rainmen have a 94-89 lead here at Budweiser Gardens. Halifax have possession, or will have possession when we come back with just over 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Forrest Fisher. Threes. He's been really, really good for this London Lightning team, or sorry, for this Halifax Rainmen team, I should say.
I was going to say, London wishes they had him tonight.
Yeah, that's, he's had some contested threes. Really bumped up their three-point percentage to 30 now.
It's kind of interesting to look that Halifax Rainmen have made 13 three-pointers. Yeah. London Lightning have attempted 15.
Yeah.
So Halifax really came in here looking to shoot the three ball, and it's worked.
Righty, here we go. Halifax with possession. Again, they have a 94-89 lead. 2 minutes have just passed. Fisher off to Young. 6 seconds on the clock, and Young for two.
Again, London really needed to get a stop there. They need to stop at some point. And if they don't get any points here, and they have to start thinking about a foul. I know it's a little early. They get the points, so it's a non-issue right now, but sooner or later, they gotta start worrying about fouling.
96-91. Minute 20. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ando keeps possession. Now off to Young. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And they'll get it off. It won't be any good. No basket there. 24-second violation. There's the stop London needed.
Now all they have to do is make sure they get another 2 points here. A minute 10 left to go in this fourth quarter. London's really running out of time. 5-point game. Here we go.
Stewart runs around Phillips. Phillips will get it back here for three. Contested. It's no good. Oh, big rebound there from, Marvin Phillips again.
Shot from Marvin Phillips. Boy, did they need that. 2-point game, 50 seconds left to go.
Out of words as Marvin Phillips gets it on the second shot. Ando with it now. Again, Halifax with a 2-point lead. 40 seconds left now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Young cuts around. Just off. This is Ando for three. No.
Another big stop here. Take your time. Slow it down. It's only 2-point time.
23 seconds to be exact. 15 seconds on the shot clock. This is Mills. Good for two.
Huge play from Jonathan Mills. We didn't hear the crowd much during this game, but you can sure hear them now. An absolutely gorgeous pass from Emmanuel Little there to find Mills cutting. And again, Mills heavily contested, able to finish at the rim like we've seen him do so many times.
Well. It's now tied 96-96. A time by the Rainmen. Discuss on both sides. We'll start with what Halifax really should be doing here. They blew the lead. They blew the lead straight up.
They very much blew the lead. And I think part of the issue is they stopped going to Fisher. You could see the coach almost giving the go to that guy to Ando to start feeding Fisher the ball. But they didn't really get it to him. And they didn't have anyone sort of, if you're going to go away from the hot hand, someone better take over. Someone better make it their prerogative to score and show why we're not going to go to our hot. They just didn't. And now Halifax finds themselves getting outshot here. And London really locked it down on defense. London's been very sleepy, but it would be weird if in a couple possessions wins this game for them, considering how sleepy they had been. But this is definitely one that Halifax has let slip out of their control. Now they have to make sure they don't let it slip away for good.
18 seconds left. 96 all. So Halifax will get possession. Halifax, they've had some clutch shooters this game. It's just a matter of what kind of offense they do if they can get an open look and take it. And
I know a lot of people would be thinking maybe Ando or maybe someone like Clink Scales even. He's shooting well tonight. But right now, I'm going with the sort of unorthodox option. Young has shot perfectly tonight, and we've seen him make it from range, make it in close. If I'm drawing up a play for anyone, all you need is a 2.
yeah,
All you need is a 2. So I'm looking to have a play that'll end this game. So you want to run down the and have it end with Young taking the shot.
Ando gets possession for now. He gives it to Watson to Fisher. 13 seconds left. Fisher keeps possession. Ando's on the move.
They got to do something here.
Now 7 seconds left. Fisher. 5. Fisher cuts around, and that's going to be a foul against Marvin Phillips.
Why
Timeout by the London Lightning. 3:18, but wasn't there a foul there?
Marvin Phillips intentionally fouled there. But tie game, I don't know why you would intentionally foul.
Now with 3 seconds to go.
Or did the Lightning have a foul to give?
Sorry, I mean it's 96-96. Confused myself. Foul, and then London call a timeout. Again, another minute to talk this over.
Well, what they might have done, I think they had a foul to give. Give up that foul. Halifax doesn't get to the line. They have to inbound it.
Right.
Now, I'm not 100% sure, but that means they would have to inbound it and take a shot with 3.8 seconds as a they were left with.
Right. To see when we come back here. Again, that was 3 seconds left when that foul was called. So we'll have to see what happens now. London in white, Halifax in blue. Pep Caleros having an extended talk with his team, probably about a 2-minute talk. The Halifax, again, you're right, they'll have to inbound here. 8 on the clock, nearly 4 seconds to get this shot off. Again, the game is tied 96 all. 3.8 on the clock. Watson on the inbound. Ando's in motion. Everyone's in motion. Chips it off. This is Watson who tosses it up. And we are going to overtime here.
And again, we saw why they took that foul there. My first instinct when I saw the foul was, what are you doing? But that was actually very clever. With 3.8 seconds left now, the Halifax Rainmen were left with a very, very difficult shot to make, and London able to stop them. And we've got more of this game
coming up.
It's going to be a good one.
Yes. So 96 all. We will be right back. Again, it's tied between Halifax and London. 96 all. We got bonus ball. London Lightning have possession. 5 minutes of overtime, 96 apiece. Alvin Mims with possession. He takes it up and will not drop for two.
Yeah, Jonathan Mills there, another strong play.
Ando. And that's going to be a foul. Fisher was up against Zane Johnson, who will get the foul there. So another trip to the line. Fisher with 2 shots coming up. .433 on the clock. And Forrest Fisher at the line. It's good. So Rainmen, 97-96 lead.
Expect to see a lot of these in these overtime minutes here. The vet knows what to do. Stewart makes a beautiful drive to the rim. Excellent play from Al Stewart.
Ando. Off to Haywood. Young. Fisher. Now back to Haywood. He keeps possession. And another foul. It'll go against London by the looks of it. Just not quite sure which player. It'll go against Al Stewart. So again, both teams over the limit. Haywood goes to the line for 2 shots. Eight all. Joey Haywood had a fantastic game. I'm going to cap it off with, again, another 2 points there. Make it 17 for him, leading the team now. 99-98, 3:54 on the clock. Stewart. And now that was no good. Stewart gets possession back. Little wants it. Instead, they'll give it to Mills. It's up, it's down. Phillips gets the rebound.
Big play for Marvin Phillips. 1 point game, 100-99. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go here.
Ando, 3:23 on the clock. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Haywood. Up against Stewart, 6 seconds of the shot clock. Ando with it. Bit of a mismatch. He has Little with him. And the shot clock will expire. No, he'll get it off in time.
Perfect from Seiya Ando. Able to get that shot off the little teardrop finger roll right before the buzzer.
It's now 3 minutes to go in the extra frame. 101-100. Johnson. Johnson waits. Slips through. That's Stewart, and shot clock will expire. Oh, no, it's still good. And they're going to say a ball fell out off of London. So now with 2.5 left, 101-100. Rainmen have the lead. Ando moves up for the Rainmen. Again, a 1 point lead. Rainmen are in blue. Have possession now. Fisher. Quick shot. Good. Clutch from Forrest Fisher.
Forrest Fisher killing it right now for the Halifax Rainmen. Doing a great job creating offense. Wide
Phillips.
open, Zane Johnson. They don't even see him.
Johnson's disappointed in that. Stewart just willing to settle things down. His Lightning are down by 4. Phillips now to Zane Johnson. This is for 3.
Huge shots from Zane Johnson out of their hands there. Zane Johnson brings it back to within one.
Ando. Have it for the Rainmen. I got 2 minutes left. 104 to 103. Rainmen have the lead. Ando. For three. Answer back. No. Who's got the rebound? It will fall out off of London. So with a minute and a half left, the Rainmen a fresh shot clock.
That Ando shot certainly not lacking for confidence, but not exactly the most advised. Too early in the shot clock for my taste.
Inbound coming up for the Rainmen. Chips up. Kale now into the game. Gives it off to Ando. 120 left. Again, we're in overtime here at Budweiser Gardens. Rainmen have a 1-point lead, and that's going to be a foul against Al. So Forrest Fisher, the guy who's been shooting clutch shots all game, he gets set to take two more that could really seal the deal here at Budweiser Gardens. So with 1:21 left, the Rainmen have a 2-point lead, thanks to that Forrest Fisher free throw. One more coming up. It's good. So 3-point differential now, 118.
I think Fisher's locked. Johnson, he didn't even see that shot go in because he was already right for Zane.
Little charges through. This is Marvin Phillips, and this is for three. It's short. And it'll fall out. It'll fall out off of the London Lightning again. So with a minute to go now, 106 to 103. They have the lead.
Toronto Raptor fans, they just beat the Celtics 109-96.
Ando. Up to Fisher. For three. Oh, it's tipped. No. Kale could go, and it's going to be a foul.
I think they're giving it on Kale for over the back.
So that will go for Kale. So now we come all the way back down to the other end for another trip to the charity stripe. This time, London taking the shots in the form of Emmanuel Little. It's good.
Important free throw here for Little. He's only a 64% free. They'll really need this one.
44 seconds left. 106 to 104, Lightning down. 106 to 105, Rainmen have possession. Again, the one. Ando is creeping ahead here. 10 seconds on the shot clock, 30 seconds to go. Kale takes it across and one! And one!
Huge play there from Chris Kale, able to generate contact way too fast for Jonathan Mills. That was a huge mismatch defensively for London. Mills didn't even mean to, but he didn't know where Kale was. Kale was all right by him, just bumps right into him. And Kale able to make the shot and gets a chance to make this a 4-point lead if he makes this with 28 seconds left. Chris
Kale, that's his 11th point on the night, and it is a massive time to show a 109-5 scoreline. The Rainmen have the lead. What does Carlos Knox tell his men here during this break?
Keep your cool. Right now, you need to, I know time is running out. You've only got 30 seconds left. That's time to get 2 possessions in. What I would look to do is just get your 2 points now, make it a 2-point game, foul immediately, and then see where you are after that, whether you need to take a 3 or whether you have to try it all over again. I'd look to try and get the quick 2, and then I'd want to foul right away.
Well,
Guys you might want to foul on Halifax, that would include Young, who's only a 61% shooter, and Watson, who's a 60% free throw shooter.
about 10 more seconds left of this timeout. Then after that, 31 seconds left to play in this. Some bonus basketball, and it's 10 o'clock. We'll be back tomorrow at 2. No time at all. We'll be right back with you as London Lightning will host the St. John Millrats. .1 on the clock. Finally, the Rainmen come back out after Coach Caleros had his final word. The Rainmen with some work to do defensively yet. Little gives it off to Stewart. Got to be quick here. Little will cut inside. And he's dispossessed. That's going to be a foul against Kale.
So Little gets to go, and hopefully these will be an easy 2. But as I mentioned, Little.
He's gone 85% from the line tonight. Incredibly, 12 for 14. Obviously leading the game with 14 trips to the line. And this will be 15 and 16.
Something's got to give, maybe.
I believe they call that jinxing. Jinxing.
22. It'd be a
22.
jinx if I went against it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's not a jinx. That's clairvoyance.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry. Oh, a massive play as Little almost gets the offensive rebound, and it'll fall out off of the Rainmen. So London get possession. 109 to 105. Now 17.8 on the clock here in overtime.
Even just one of those free throws would have been a big boon here.
Down by 4. Stewart on the inbound. You got to be looking for a 3. Here's Zane Johnson for 3. Al Stewart collects, tries to toss it back up for 2. It's no good. 10 seconds left. Ball falls out of play. And it's going to be a Lightning ball again. But now with 10.2 on the clock, the London Lightning not looking good for the hometown team. 109 to 105. 10 seconds left. On the inbound, that's Stewart. He cuts through, and another foul. This time on the Rainmen House for 7 seconds left. Trip to the line.
A little better free throw chances here for London. Stewart, a 72% free throw shooter.
Stewart, good. So make it 109 to 106, 7.1 on the clock. A big second shot coming up. Here's a timeout by the Rainmen. So the London Lightning will be looking to foul here and then trying to turn it around.
And it's got to be a quick foul right now. I know I was giving you guys on Hamilton that you would want to try and foul in this situation. Watson is still out there. He's still the guy you want to try and foul. This much time left, anyone will do.
Oh, it's been sloppy at times, but certainly exciting near the end. Still a 2-point game here in overtime. London battled back in that fourth quarter, managed to tie the game, never really ended up taking the lead there. Their only lead came in the first quarter, and then once again for a bit in the second quarter. Halifax lead for almost the entire game. And they have the lead when it counts with just moments to go. 8 seconds left, or my apologies, 7 seconds left in this overtime.
Crazy stat of the game. London shot 20 3-pointers in this game. Multiply that by 2, and you've got Halifax is chucked in this game.
Unbelievable.
Brampton A's like numbers.
Halifax will be heading back out east. They Island Storm later on next week. The London Lightning take on St. John here. No time at all. Tomorrow afternoon at 2. So maybe the bonus ball, maybe not the best for the Lightning. Because again, they have a whole nother game to play at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Just past 10 o'clock here local time. Ando takes it, waits to be fouled. So now with 5.5 on the clock, Ando will take a trip to the line for the Rainmen.
Ando is 69% free throw shooter here. Again, you only need him to miss 1. If you can make this a 1-possession game with 5 seconds left, that's doable. And with the 3-point shooters we know London has, very, very possible here. Look for a substitution if it does come to that, because I could imagine them taking Mills out of the game. Well, they're going to call timeout if they have one right off of the missed shot, if there is one.
Ando's first shot is good.
So you know they're going to call that timeout and look for into the game too. He is their clutch shooter.
So again, if Ando sinks this, then it's a 2-possession game.
And then everything I said doesn't matter.
And that's exactly what happened. So the Halifax Rainmen win here in London and beat the London Lightning by a score of 111-107. Let's see, Lightning just get the inbound. So the Lightning will go down to a record of 11-7. Halifax Rainmen move up to a record of 8-9. That shot is no good, so out of bounds. Rainmen get the ball, and that'll just about do it for us as everyone's filing out. So again, we will be back tomorrow at 2 when the London Lightning host the St. John Millrats. So for all of us here, thank you very much for tuning in. It's an extended version of London Lightning basketball. So again, the final score, London Lightning 107, Halifax Rainmen 111.